Today, I'm incredibly honoured to welcome someone whose leadership and vision I personally find deeply inspiring, Vanessa Sorenson, the Managing Director of Microsoft New Zealand. Welcome.
Oh, thank you. So wonderful to be here.
Thank you. Vanessa, you've been at the helm of Microsoft for more than 7 years. You're not only a driving force in digital innovation, but also a passionate champion for diversity, inclusion, and creating space for women in technology. You've helped elevate voices across the motu, and we're so excited to have you on the podcast today. We'll be talking about the power of partnerships, like the special one between Microsoft and Umbrellar, your personal journey and impact you're making across Aotearoa, and of course, some of the exciting innovation Microsoft is bringing to our shores. So let's dive in. Let's start with partnerships.
Yep.
Umbrellar has proudly partnered with Microsoft for over a decade now, through various seasons of ownership, Pink Arrow, Pax8, and now back under New Zealand ownership with Ian Hassel. Over those years, what has made the partnership with Umbrellar so special to you? And from your perspective, what has this collaboration delivered for Microsoft customers that others might learn from?
Oh, look, it's been an extraordinary journey. And yes, certainly watching the changes that Umbrella have gone through, I admire the team. I think we've partnered extraordinarily well. I have actually only been at the helm 4.5 years, but I joined 7 years ago. I was leading the enterprise team, and actually one of the most special partners was Umbrella. I remember just coming in, it was very early days of a lot of customers moving to cloud, and the way Umbrella really embraced it. And in fact, when I then became country leader, one of the very first sessions that sort of, I suppose, welcomed me to this new role was an amazing changemaker process that I was interviewed through the Umbrella team. I remember it just being so incredible because just seeing what we could do together, whether it be migrations, coming together with Dee and I, upholding more Māori Pacifica and skilling, it's actually those things. But however, Umbrella's also incredible at migrations with customers, doing what they say they're going to do, and really just diving in together. And so, yeah, I just can't wait to see what we do in the future.
Also, that's so encouraging to hear. And it really speaks to the strength of alignment and trust in our ecosystem. Now, it's been a huge year for Microsoft New Zealand. The past 6 months have seen the much anticipated launch of New Zealand North.
Yes.
Your local data centres are now officially open for business. Why did Microsoft decide to invest $500 million into building data centres here in New Zealand? And what was the vision behind such a significant move, and why now?
Look, it's something that we never thought would happen, quite frankly. You sort of look, New Zealand, 5 million people, this is a huge investment. We don't ever actually say how much, but it's incredibly amazing for this country to connect us to the rest of the world. And it was 5.5 years ago where Satya Nadella came to New Zealand, and he truly felt the innovation, the number 8 wire. He was inspired by Kiwis. He was really inspired by Namotu, which is the te reo version of Minecraft. And he's like, how did you do all of this? Imagine if you had, data centers and really, from that trip, we then said, okay, this seems to be a window, let's go for it. And what an incredible opportunity for me to lead that piece of work. And then as I became country leader, to then actually tell New Zealand while we were in lockdown that we were investing, and not even our local team knew. Like, I'll never forget, before announcing it through the press, having a connection with our local team, all online, all on Teams. And there was only basically 3 of us entered into this process. And just the shock and the, wow, are we really? It was phenomenal. And so, yeah, honestly, it's giving me goosebumps because it's one of the reasons that I really wanted to join this incredible company.
Wow, that's amazing. And when we think about the scale and potential of this infrastructure, what sets these data centers apart from others in the region? Are there capabilities or motivations that truly make them unique?
Yeah, well, we're the first hyperscaler. It's not just having your servers sitting in a warehouse. This is truly modern technology. It's a platform. It's connecting to the rest of the world. And so I'm so immensely proud of that. And we're rolling out new services every day, quite frankly, which, for New Zealand businesses, when we, tented in Fonterra and ASB Bank, they were like, okay, wow, we can visualize our actual crown jewels in public cloud. And so they've been part of that journey as well. But actually, it was the incredible partnership with Contact Energy, the sustainable energy story, because we get it. People are like, man, they're really power hungry. And, Mike Furge has gone on record saying without Microsoft's investment with Contact Energy, they could not have expanded the geothermal plant that they have done. So that's what makes me immensely proud.
Yeah.
You know, we're a secure country. We're an amazing, number 8 wire innovator, and now we're the most sustainable. So that's why I think New Zealand's really seen on the forefront for Microsoft globally, and will continue to invest here.
And that was my next question, because sustainability has been a hot topic around this launch, which is such an important lens for the tech industry in New Zealand. What makes the data centre so significantly environmentally different, and how is Microsoft embedding that into their operation?
Well, as I say, that relationship with Contact Energy, the way it's designed, New Zealand's such a, diverse, rich country. And I think that wasn't even something we really considered right at the get-go. And, because with all things, when you launch it and people say, well, hey, what's it going to do to the planet? For us to be able to stand tall and say, it's carbon zero from day one. And that's also a huge part, I think, of business cases for New Zealand businesses, because they have to now front to their boards around what are we doing. So I'm just immensely proud because, again, having servers in a back room, overheating, taking a lot more power, that's another real step change for businesses to make sure that they're hitting their goals. So, yeah, it's just been phenomenal.
100%. And of course, with the local data storage comes a deep responsibility for security, and trust. How do the new data centres meet New Zealand's regulatory and cybersecurity requirements, especially for businesses navigating compliance and data sovereignty?
Yeah, well, again, this is the reason that Kiwi companies, I remember talking to someone in the public sector and saying, wow, we could now visualize our taxation system or public cloud. And because it is more secure, I'm so fortunate I get to go up to Redmond and see our vast teams that are trying to hack into ourselves. We have to be the most trusted. Brad Smith really, started such a movement to governments worldwide about all of this, because if your data's not secure and it's not your own, then what have we got? And so it's not only highly contained within what is a regulatory, we go over and above. And, that's what I'm excited, things we can't share on this, but a lot of incredible things with our government to make sure that our most secure assets are completely compliant. And that's, I think, what I want all Kiwis to think about. Again, if you've got your servers in your back room, man, the biggest issue is the hackers are smarter than they've ever been. And so, yeah, I feel very, very confident about where we're heading.
That's amazing. Pivoting to culture and people, if you don't mind, on the topic of culture, Microsoft New Zealand is often recognised as a place where people feel seen and supported. What is Microsoft doing differently to foster a culture of inclusion and belonging where people feel like they truly matter?
Yeah, it's been a lot of work, and I really, Microsoft just turned 50, and it was incredible seeing Bill Gates, Steve Ballmer, and Satya Nadella on the stage, 3 phenomenal leaders that all brought something quite different. So Bill, startup of Microsoft, very engineer. Steve Ballmer brought the rah-rah and the sales culture. And Satya is a combination of the both. And I'd actually read his book before joining, and I just loved how he wants everybody to turn up being their full authentic self. And I really could feel it. I remember joining Microsoft and walking through the office, and it did strike me as quite a diverse team. However, there wasn't at that time one Māori Pacifica person. And I got asked to lead the employee resource group for that. And it was interesting, our first year, it even felt a little embarrassing to say kia ora. I said, why is that? Like, what do we need to do? We need to front up for all New Zealand of how we want to represent. And so really it began an incredible journey for my own learning, getting closer to Ngāti Whātua Ōrākei, understanding how Māori Pacifica interview, and then just going on to bring more people in and truly learn. And so, it's a work in progress. I love the things about, be a learn-it-all person, not a know-it-all. And they are the sorts of things that Satya has brought. And the programs that we've done, we started with 10K women, about bringing more women up to feel confident, like free certifications, to now our goal is to certify 100,000 in New Zealand. Like, these are things that again, they give me goosebumps because we want to rise the tide, and that means everybody, not just women. And I'm extremely privileged what I get to do. And I look around what our teams do, whether it be for our Gleam team, for LGBTI community, accessibility, Māori Pacifica. Like, honestly, that's what gives everybody the platform to make change.
It's awesome. That kind of intentional culture building makes a huge difference, and one obviously that really resonates with my heart, being a leader and woman in technology, and also Māori as well. And yet, even in supportive environments, something many women still face, often silently, is imposter syndrome. How prevalent is imposter syndrome among women at Microsoft New Zealand, in your view, and how does it affect career progression and overall well-being?
It's hard. I've suffered it myself. I think, I used to be that female that say, no, it's not harder being a woman. It actually is. I mean, I just remember having my beautiful daughter and just like the guilt and going back to work and being up all night with her not well, but still having to front up, growing up in a very male-dominated, and still, I think female is still only 27%, represented across Australia and New Zealand for tech. And I suffered it badly. But not that people knew. I think, again, fake it till you make it. And, I've had all of that. But boy, I put an incredible network around me. Other women that I could go to when I felt, man, I can't do this. My incredible husband who has supported me for 35 years going, I know you can. And honestly, really working on turning that voice down. It was something recently I heard where someone said, would you talk to a 5-year-old the way you're speaking to yourself? And just a light bulb went on. I was like, yeah, I'm not very nice to myself a lot. And so turning that voice down and having the ability to kind of go, I have earned this. I am good enough. I might not be the smartest, but put smarter people around you. No one knows how to do the next job. And that is true, right? Women go, I'm not going to go for it because I don't have 90% of the ability. And guys just go, yep, totally. Yeah, I've got 10%, I'm all in. And so I want to be that person for women to say, take the space, do the hard things, but wrap yourself around people that will support you, because you will get knocked down, and it's how you get back up again.
Thank you so much for speaking openly about that. Normalizing these experiences is so powerful because it gives others permission to own their own voice. Now, Vanessa, I want to take a moment to shift the focus to your personal journey, because it's one that truly does inspire me. You built a career defined by purpose, resilience, and real human connection. Can you share some of the tips or lessons that you've learnt about building a successful network and fostering meaningful professional relationships?
Yeah, I think with my upbringing, dropping out of high school at 16 and not having that, I suppose, normal life, I think I did build a lot of resilience as a young girl. And so I never feared about a title. Like, I would just see people, and I still do. I look at people and go, wow, you've got something you can teach me. And I think from a network perspective, you've got to work on it when you don't need something. And I think today, a lot of people just don't do that. It's like, okay, right, gosh, I'm stuck. And I have it all the time, because growing up in New Zealand tech, I knew people, we all started out at the same time, and people will contact me, hey, Vanessa, I haven't seen you in 20 years, but I've lost my job and I need a job. And I'm like, why didn't we work on this before when you need something? And I think I've generally built that. I'm very, very curious about people, and not just title. I've always had a reverse mentor, someone younger than me that can help, teach me about the next generation. Recently, last week, I shadowed my boss's boss, and I'm constantly saying that to my team, and realized I wasn't doing it. So I heard he was coming to Australia, so I pinged him and said, hey, can I shadow you? He said, absolutely. Like, I don't think we ask, and I don't think we put ourselves out. I think the fear of failure, the fear of, nerves about things, I just don't really have that. I've just got this, I just want to learn, and I just staying curious. So, and have an opinion. I'm that person on LinkedIn that does post that stupid photo of me dancing at an event, which gives people joy. And I post it because I'm going, make fun of yourself, be that lone dancer, get on the dance floor. And honestly, I think the best advice I ever got, lean into the roles that others tell you shouldn't be doing, because they're the ones that teach you the most. And again, but wrap around the guardrails around yourself, because we do fail. I've learned more from my failures than my successes. But that's how I think got up any type of ladder, because then I was seen. It's not about doing the easier things. And I just encourage everybody to do that. And I think that was a massive part of my upbringing. And I'm not sure how you learn things like that, but be that constant learner. I'm always listening to podcasts. I'm always doing the next course. And when people say, I don't think you can do it, I go, watch me.
Absolutely.
And that's what everyone needs to do.
I love that. Thank you so much. And I personally love your LinkedIn dancing photos. With such a high impact role, I imagine balance is a constant focus. How do you manage your career ambitions alongside other parts of life, obviously your family, well-being and passions outside of work?
I'm not the best poster child at this. And again, what an incredible husband I have, incredible children I have. You know, I think actually I asked our now just turned 19 and 16-year-old, what's it been like for them having a working mum throughout their lives? And they said, we're proud of you. You know, you always ensured that we had an incredible nanny and people in their lives. You were always here when you were here. And, you know, Chris and I were very fortunate to, you know, build a beach house about 17 years ago where the kids learnt to ride bikes and, you know, and I was that parent riding with them. And so it takes a huge village, and that's pretty much what Chris and I have built. And yeah, I haven't always got it right. I do look back and was I at all the kids' events? No, but I went on the kids' school board. So I always tried to go, okay, if I can't do that, could I help here? And yeah, I don't know. There's no right way. And I think I remember being pregnant with Grace, actually, and my best friend at the time said, let the guilt begin no matter what. And but I think just, you know, be present. And like, COVID was amazing because we still have dinner together as a family every night. And, you know, that was a very special, strange time for me, as I say, a week into being country leader and had to lock the business down. I was like, what? That's not what we were planning to do. And homeschooling our kids, thank goodness my husband was there to do that. But actually really drawing us together about actually having dinner together is really important. And we haven't stopped those things. And yeah, I think it's also created an incredible life for them. And I don't have any regrets. We can't.
No, absolutely. I love that. No regrets. And that really resonates with me, being a solo parent looking after twin boys and having to show up to work and having to show up to all the things and the admin of school life and all the things. So thank you for your raw and honest insights into how you do it as, you know, a country manager of, you know, one of the biggest hyperscalers in the world.
Well, I got it wrong many a time. You know, I remember, you know, the kid not reading the school newsletter and sending the kids to school in uniform when it was mufti, or turning up first day without their stationery. Yeah. Like, I mean, and I felt gutted for them, but it makes them learn too, right? It builds that resilience, and no one's perfect. And so, you know, I used to be bothered by watching the mums that were at the school gate that I didn't really have a relationship with, because it was odd if I would pick them up. But do your own, whatever that looks like. And as I say, it takes a village, and we've certainly got that.
Yeah, I love that. It's a great reminder that success looks different for everyone, and balance doesn't always mean perfect symmetry.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. Vanessa, it's been such a joy having you on Digital ChangeMakers today, from innovation and infrastructure to purpose and people. Your insights have been deeply valuable, and we're so grateful you took the time to share them with us. Thank you from Umbrellar, from myself personally, for the work that you do and for continuing to lead with heart, vision and impact.
Oh, look, I've thoroughly enjoyed it. You know, as I say, we love our partnership with Umbrellar. I think collectively we can rise the tide. This era of AI where people are saying, what's it going to mean for us? I believe it's a co-pilot for everyone. This is going to enable everyone. And I see it every single day. and our partnership's just going to go from strength to strength, and I can't wait to see what we do together.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.